Hi, my name is Mikayla Flake. I just recently graduated from the University of North Georgia a little over a year ago. I currently work with Cutco. I am a district manager. So basically what I do is, if you've never heard of Cutco, it's just selling and showing kitchen cutlery and other items for the kitchen, some outdoor stuff, hunting tools, stuff like that too. And I'm currently a manager for the office in Athens year round, where I just help other people build communication skills and help grow their resume and things like that. Just giving them the same opportunity that I had for myself, which is pretty cool. So my goal in buying a place was that I see, and I've personally experienced this, where it's not necessarily that you feel like you're throwing away your money to rent, but with the rent prices at where they are at right now, I felt like it just would be a lot more affordable for me to find a place. I needed to have a lease for an office for my job. And so I thought, why would I rent an office and rent a place when I can just buy a 2-bedroom condo and have an office room and a bedroom? Like, that just made a lot more sense to me. So I spent a little bit of time kind of looking around. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. Like I said, I just graduated college. I didn't really say much to my parents about what I was doing. I kind of was just like, we'll just see how it works out. I honestly didn't tell my parents until I got pre-approved for a mortgage, because I knew that if I said something, they'd be like, with the market how it is right now, I don't know that that's a good idea. Like, we'll see. But I was like, I know that I have money saved up. I know that it would be a good investment long-term to get, a condo in Athens, because ultimately, if I don't end up living here forever, I can rent it out to college students or as an Airbnb for football games, or just to have. I just knew that it would be an investment in the long term, but currently I needed a place to live. Also, I work from home, so my parents live in the middle of nowhere and the service is absolutely terrible. So I knew that I wanted to be in Athens to connect with the people I work with in person occasionally, and just for better internet was one of my main reasons. So I originally found a few places I would message. I just, I didn't know what I was doing. I do remember that George had messaged me and said, like, hey, like, I know you're looking at places. Normally how it goes, like every few days or every week, I would get an email or a text like, hey, here's a property, or anything like that. So I ultimately was just searching one day, and I was about a month into the process. And I found the place that I am currently in right now. It was a fixer-upper. I knew that it wasn't going to be an easy process, but I also knew that it was something that I could afford as I just graduated college. And so I called George. We set up a time to, come in here. It was not an easy process. And that's not because of him. It was because of the situation for the people that lived here before. So there were people who had lived here, I think they said 12 years, but they were just renting the place, and the actual owners, it was just a hard place to get into. The lady that was renting it had just had a stroke, and so they weren't really able to have people come in and do a walkthrough, and so it was days out that we were able to even come through and look at the place. It was kind of difficult to get in touch with the people, but I know that George worked really hard and always answered every single question that I had. So like I said, I did not know what I was doing. Didn't talk to my parents a lot. My dad, he used to own rental properties. He knows a lot about real estate. He's not a real estate agent, so he doesn't know everything, but he does know a lot about the process. But I was a little bit intimidated, and some of the questions I felt like I just should know. So I asked George a lot of questions. If he didn't know the answer to my question, he did everything that he could to find the answer to the question, which is greatly appreciated, considering I kind of work in a similar position or a similar business where I get asked a lot of questions and I have to answer a lot of questions. And if I don't know, then I am the same way, where I'm like, okay, let me find out. And so I really appreciated that. I could tell the effort that was put in. And so I really appreciated that. And I knew that he was doing everything that he could do to help make this process as easy as possible for me. So I would say like definitely one of the things that stood out was just like how hard he worked to get my questions answered and to figure things out. So besides like not being able to get in, it was hard because the closing process took a while because it was hard to get the people that lived here out. And so deciding on like the price and everything, you know, they were kind of set on a certain price, and George was really able to bring it down to something that I would like just didn't expect. Not to say that I didn't expect it from him, but like it was crazy that I got a text one day like, hey, they brought it all the way down to this, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So I would just say like I know a lot of realtors in the position that I work in, like selling Cutco, we have closing gifts. And so I've done a lot of presentations with realtors. And so for me, it was a struggle to, you know, decide who I wanted to work with because I had met so many, I know so many real estate agents. And so I didn't want to go with anyone that I really knew. Partially because I didn't want to like hurt anybody's feelings, but also just because I felt like I don't know, I felt like they had helped me out so that I would be helping them out. So I feel like the reason that I went, you know, with George was just because of the continuous effort and following up. And then also, I also think that, you know, obviously I went with a realtor because I didn't know, this is my first like home buying process. Definitely was a lot more than I expected. And I think that a lot of the time, like, it's just like, people have the idea like, oh, I can just do this on my own. Like I can just Google it and I can just figure it out and it'll be super easy, like no big deal. No, it was definitely not like that. And so I knew from the beginning that I was going to be using a realtor to help me through the process because like what else would I do? I didn't know everything. And so I really think that I made the right decision. George helped me a ton. I don't know that I would be in the condo that I'm in right now if I hadn't had him as my realtor, just because of all of the, you know, the blocks in the road that we hit. Like it definitely was not an easy process. But I'm definitely very happy with where I'm at now. My monthly payments I'm very happy with. You know, just being in Athens, like I wanted to be like close to downtown at a price that is hard and if it's impossible to be found right now. Yeah, I mean, ultimately it just comes down to I'm very grateful, and I just think that this process, a lot of the weight was lifted off my shoulders, and it was just honestly a pretty easy process at the end of the day on my end. I didn't really have to contact anyone, and everything was taken care of for me. So I definitely, you know, recommend reaching out to George if you're looking into buying a home, because he did everything that he could and was pretty selfless in the process of thinking about anything that he could to help me have an easy process and also to help me end up where I wanted to be. So, yeah.